Hi, hello, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk about one of my absolute favorite tools to improve as an artist, one of my favorite things to sketch with, to learn with, and do my studies with. So what I'm talking about is actually very simple. You can get it anywhere. It's a ballpoint pen. I think everyone has at least one around on their table or wherever. We've all used it and we all fear it when it comes to sketching with it, but I actually think it's so useful. I really started to love using it for my art, especially when I use references and try to do studies and improve in things like anatomy or clothing or whatever. And first of all, because I know those questions will come, the pen that I use is a very, very simple one. I got it in a convenience store. It was the cheapest pen in the convenience store when I was in Korea. I got a whole bunch of them. That's why I still have them, even though I keep sketching with this one. I don't know why. It just doesn't run out. But I bought a whole pack of it, I think. And I think it was what was it? 701. So it was really cheap, and it's my favorite. I love it. So I can recommend it, but I can also recommend any other cheap or whatever you want to use ballpoint pen. You know, whatever price point. I use the cheapest one. I love it. So the price really doesn't matter. Just try it. So why should you use a ballpoint pen, and why do I say that it really helped me improve a lot? So it's really no secret to say that there are absolutely no mistakes allowed with ballpoint pen, or at least it feels like it. It's not erasable, it's very obvious, it feels a little bit less controllable than pens, especially for art or for artists. This is just a usual office tool that wasn't made to make art or do something pretty with, just to take notes and everything. So it's really not made to be an artist tool. But I personally think this is exactly why it helps so much, because you have to be confident with it. You have to learn to be confident in your art, in what you put on paper, and also how you observe the reference. So I feel like every time I sketch with ballpoint pen, the fact that I know that I cannot erase it makes it so much more important for me to really, really look at the reference and figure out what I want to draw, what line I want to put down and why. And it takes a little bit longer because I keep thinking about it and I keep analyzing why I have to do what. But it's such a good training to think about these things a little deeper. I feel like with a normal erasable pencil, I feel like I'm more loose. I don't really think about things too much, and I just put things down, and if it looks somewhat like the reference, I'm happy. But with a ballpoint pen, if I make a mistake, I can't erase it. So it's scary. So you keep thinking about it before you put the pen down, and this is actually what makes you learn much better and also improve much faster, because you actually take those lessons from that reference in. Also, another thing that I think really helps is that you really have to think, if you make a mistake, you cannot, you can abandon it, but I recommend not to. I recommend to actually have that mindset to sit down and try to fix it. So with this reference that I used here, I really hated the mouth. I really, really hated how I drew it. I really hated how it turned out. So I kept drawing over it. I kept making it darker. So I also made different facial features darker, like the eyes and everything with it. But I tried my best to fix the initial mouth that I drew. And I'm a little sad that in the video it's not too visible, but I hope in those few seconds that you saw it, it was visible that it was really not pretty at first. So I had to figure out, okay, how do I try to fix those lines, make it a little prettier, make it not look so dumb, even though I wanted to place the mouth even in a different kind of position. Like I wanted to put it a little more down, but I feel like making it darker and adding a few more lines that I wouldn't have put there initially really fixed it. And honestly, it's one of my favorite sketches on this whole page. I really like how this entire page turned out. So, you know, I didn't ruin it. I could have just said, okay, I made a mistake, I will cover it up, I will move on to a different page, but I just really wanted to fix it. And I really recommend this mindset of like, okay, you can't erase it, what can you do? What can you do to fix it? What can you do to work with this kind of mistake? And I feel like over time, if you keep practicing it like that, and if you keep having kind of like these problems that you have to solve on your own with your own brain, you will become a better artist, you will become better, you will improve in your art, and you will actually recognize these mistakes earlier when you draw something else. So overall, it's really one of my favorite tools to sketch and practice with. I love to use it when I work off references and just want to study and want to figure out how different things work. Like here I just wanted to draw these feminine faces and these really like magical themes, I would say, and also wings. I didn't draw wings in a while, so this was a lot of fun. So I use it a lot and I can really recommend it because I can see a huge difference between the pages I do with normal pencil sketches and the ones that I do with pens, with ballpoint pens. I feel like every time I do this and I actually get over myself and get over that fear of not being able to erase, I feel like I make some improvement. And yes, to actually give you some tips on how to use ballpoint pen in a way that doesn't frustrate you immediately, if you watched me in the beginning, I always try to do some beginning sketches, like some beginning lines on the page to kind of get the feeling of how much pressure this specific ballpoint pen needs and how I can get different line weights, different like darknesses with that pen. So I do recommend to have a very light hand at first. If you generally struggle with putting too much pressure on your pen to the point that even your wrist hurts over a while, this might be a different, very good practice. It definitely helped me with not putting too much pressure on my wrist and my hand while I'm drawing, and just to use the pencil very lightly. If you struggle with that, I recommend just use a different kind of paper at first and do a lot of lines. Just try out the line weight, the strength you use, and just practice like that at first. And once you feel a little bit more comfortable with that, you can start sketching and very lightly just push on the paper. You can see that the first lines that I drew are actually not too visible in the final sketch. They are still visible, but not too much if you actually like look at it from afar, or like you just look over the page. So that definitely helps to put down the initial idea of what you want to draw, where you want to place it on the page, and then you can experiment with different line strengths, different darknesses on the page, and really make your drawings come to life around this initial very light sketch. And another thing that I keep running into, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, is the build-up on the pencil. So I do recommend to always have like a tissue or a towel next to you to use, and keep an eye on the tip of the pencil because the ink on there tends to build up and can spill on your drawing, which can be very frustrating if you just try it out to put down like very light lines and suddenly you have like this blob of just dark color. So I do recommend to just use like a tissue or something to just wipe it away every now and then, and you will be good, and you will not have this frustrating moment of like just a spill on your page when you just felt so confident in your drawing. So, and even if that happens, you can still fix it. Like I said earlier, that is just another challenge you can try, and you can try to work around it somehow. But yeah, just to avoid it, I do recommend to wipe it away every now and then. I feel like that's an issue that definitely happens with the cheaper pencils. I don't know if it's just me because I'm using such a cheap one, or if I try like a really premium ballpoint pen, it doesn't happen anymore, but I surely know that it happens to me quite a lot, so I just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's basically it. And for the rest of the page, you can see me use a little bit of ink, which I haven't used in forever, and I'm very happy that my sketchbook is taking it very well. It didn't spill over to the next page, it didn't ruin the entire page, but I just wanted to have a really, really dark background. I could have done it with ballpoint pen too, but that would have taken an eternity, and I want to get the point across, but I don't want to get the point across that you should use ballpoint pencils that much to sit there for like 2 hours and just fill out this background. I just really wanted to have this page look a little bit more magical with some stars and just some little details in the background, and not just have it like a sketch page. But in general, I had a lot of fun drawing this page, and I hope you have a lot of fun drawing with your ballpoint pencil too. And obviously you don't have to do it in like your sketchbook page that you like really want to have all pretty. We all drew like on our little papers in class and all that. It doesn't have to be like a great outcome. I practiced this for many years, and only that way I got confident in it. And yeah, I hope you do too, and I can really recommend it if you want to improve faster and have a little fun, experiment. So yeah, I hope you take care of yourself, don't pressure yourself too much, and yeah, have fun with art, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!